Did your narcissist lie to you? Did they tell you one thing and it'd be completely opposite? Did they lie to you about cheating on you? Lie to you about where they went? Lie to you about what they got at the grocery store? Lie to you about what they ate? A lot of times we see narcissists that will lie to you over and over and over again. I want to walk you through a little bit of progression about narcissist lying to you and the effect it has on you, and also some of the path to move forward in that healing process. When you think about this aspect of a narcissist lying, I want you to picture already you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're with someone that you love and that you care about, and you're not expecting this person to lie to you. Then all of a sudden it starts to come out, you start to see different pieces, and you're like, wait a second, this doesn't add up. This doesn't match up the facts of what I actually know. Typically, you get to a place where you'll explain it away, you'll confuse yourself, you'll put in cognitive dissonance, you'll be like, well, they must not mean it. It must be something different than what it actually is. And as a result, you'll get to the place where you'll believe something that's not completely true. A lot of times you'll run into this aspect of this emotional duress that will cause different levels of anxiety that will not only hurt you, but hurt your body and hurt a lot of different pieces about your life that we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. When we think this aspect of narcissist lying, it's important to be able to separate the difference between truth and between fiction. And this gets really hard when you're talking to a toxic person, when you're interacting with a toxic person on a day-to-day basis, because you're not sure what is actually true. And you're discussing this has a huge emotional impact on me if you're lying. If you're not telling me the truth, this is going to destroy me. This is going to hurt me in multiple ways. But it doesn't seem like the other person cares. First off, I want to be able to touch on what it actually does to you, how it affects you, how it hurts you. One of the aspects is how it impacts your body, on a physical state, where all of a sudden you're at the place where you have high anxiety because you don't know what to actually believe. You start to have hair loss. You start to have autoimmune disease. You start to have things that have never happened before in your body that suddenly start to happen due to the stress, due to the confusion of the lies. You start to have this impact your own being of what's actually going on inside, eroding your self-doubt, hurting you, making you question your own perception of reality, wondering, is this true? Is this not true? And you're not even sure who to believe anymore. A lot of times this affects your relationships, not just with that person, but with your family, with your kids who you're trying to be able to lead, but you're not sure what to even tell them because you don't even know what's true from your partner. Or maybe what to be able to tell your friends and family outside of the relationship because you're ashamed or because you're afraid that they're going to judge you because of being with someone who's continuing to lie. And so it slowly isolates you. It makes you feel like there's no one else experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing. A lot of times it bleeds over, the stress bleeds over into how you're showing up in your business. This aspect where it makes it really hard for you to even make decisions in a business that you normally would have no problem making. But now it seems difficult because you don't know who you are. You don't know what to believe. And you're so clouded in the fog of decision making because of the toxicity that you've been put through and all the deceit and lies that have been placed upon you. I want to ask you today, how does that make you feel? How does that feel just understanding and seeing the impact? Because if we don't create a space and a container for you to be able to understand how much it has hurt and how much has it affected you, we're not going to be able to create a movement forward of you actually wanting to change, of you actually wanting to develop that thought process, that idea of, I want this healing no matter what. I want this healing that helps me shift the focus from the pain to what could actually be possible. Of understanding the motivation behind a narcissist lying, their image, the ego, the shame avoidance, all those different pieces, understanding that and then getting to the place of acknowledging what could actually be true. What if you were able to be at a place where you had clarity, where you understood and you could expose the lies, not just because you knew all the facts around the lies, but because you knew the truth for you. You didn't spend as much time defending yourself against the narcissist lying. You didn't spend so much time worrying about what he's saying about you or how he's impacting your life because you know who you are. What would that actually look like in your life? How would that show up in your life? What if you could actually be free and experience a liberation and empowerment that comes with recognizing and addressing the lies, having clarity in those decisions on a day-to-day basis? Who could you be without that thought limiting you and holding you back? Like, I just want you to picture just for a moment, what if you were free from the narcissist lies? Who would you be? How would you show up differently? What could actually be possible? What would that look like impacting with your kids? How would that affect your decision making in your business? How would that actually show up on a day-to-day basis of you investing into yourself with self-care, with self-love, with self-development? What would that look like? What would that feel like? We need to be able to understand and step through some of the principles. Some of the aspects to have you understand and be able to walk through this aspect of the narcissist lying to you and the effect it has on you. How do we actually get to those possibilities? First aspect is identifying the core beliefs that you need to address and navigate the narcissist lies. One of the aspects is belief in your own worth and the right to the truth. You see, a narcissist will make you feel like you don't have a right to the truth, that it's not your right to even know what the truth actually is. Typically, a narcissist believes that they operate in a silo and everything that they do only affects them, when in reality it affects you at the same time. But a narcissist doesn't want to admit that. They don't want to connect with that. Because if they do, then they have to be accountable for their own actions. You get beat down so much for your worth, being able to take a step back and understand, hey, my worth is not defined by his opinion of me. My worth is not defined by what he's actually saying about me. My worth is not defined by another person, but it's defined by you. This comes as you develop this worth aspect. This comes in by setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries that are for you, not for the other person, not rules, regulations, and limits for the other person, but boundaries that are for you, saying, hey, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to live. And as a result, it starts to open up this door of self-validation and discernment where you're able to discern what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's not true, and move in the direction that you want to move. Keeping boundaries as guardrails to keep you guided in the right direction, to help you move forward. Now, this all comes with an aspect of shifting your mindset to be able to help navigate the lies. Some of it is just simply shifting from self-blame to recognizing that the lies are a reflection of the narcissist's manipulative behavior. You didn't cause him to lie, just like you didn't cause him to cheat, just like you didn't cause him to yell at you. You're going to feel that way because he's going to put that on you. He's going to blame you. He's going to project that. He's going to make you feel bad about yourself. You did not cause that. Understanding this self-awareness piece and thinking critically of like, what are actually the facts that actually show me what's the true? Did I do this? I said this and he had this type of response. Did I make him do that? No, it was a choice. Did I make him cheat on me? No, it was a choice. Understanding that those lies come from the narcissist and they're not from you. But we have to get really clear of what are the facts of the situation. One of the things we focus on constantly inside the Thriver community is what are the facts? Tell me the facts. Tell me the things that support that story, that support this idea, that deny that story, that deny this idea, so we can get very, very clear in our critical thinking skills so that you move from the place of the fog into the clarity. And this is helpful for you moving forward of understanding the story you believe. The story you believe touches in the beliefs that you currently have that leave you locked in a toxic relationship or leave you locked in the mindset that this person cares about you when they're not demonstrating that. This shows up in understanding, hey, you have a right to honesty. You have a right to transparency in the relationship. You need to be able to understand how we develop this discerning mindset. And it comes back down to the aspect of understanding the story that you believe and how you find that and how you understand that on a day-to-day basis. So we have to be able to put this together in a path and a direction for you to be able to move. Part of it is understanding a roadmap, like creating a roadmap of understanding and addressing the narcissist lies. Educating yourself on narcissistic patterns. What does that actually look like? What's triangulation? What are these red flags? What is gaslighting? What are all the different nuances of it? How do we navigate those things? Getting to a place where you're seeking support from other people, from coaches, from support groups, from different people to understand it, but then also to say, hey, you're not alone. You're not left in this all alone. There's other people that have walked the same exact road as you, and they're thriving, and they're moving forward in their growth. Being able to help you understand and realize how to rewire your mindset by dealing with the story that you believe. That cognitive dissonance piece of two opposing thoughts at the same time, and you develop another thought that just says, this must be what it is. He just has bad communication. He's just going through a rough time. He's just really under a lot of stress. Being able to understand the story you believe and the facts, the discerning idea of like, wait a second, is this true or not true? How does it support or not support what's actually going on? And as a result, as you start to get clear about what is actually true and factual, you're able to know who you are and you're able to establish healthy boundaries. If you're understanding the direction that we're talking here, if you're understanding these steps, like just type in the chat, like, I get it, because I need you to understand this. I need you to see the interaction that we have to be able to move you through a progression, through a step. We've put this together in multiple different ways inside of the Thriver community, inside of the Clarity Challenge, but ultimately to make it be a step-by-step progression of you to understand, of you to get involved in community, of you to have action plans to help move you forward, and for you to be able to maximize on your growth and on your development. But you have to make a decision of how long will the narcissist lies actually control you. They'll control you for a period of time, then you leave the relationship, and then the thought of those lies, his voice in your head years later, will still be controlling you with limiting beliefs, with limiting thoughts that will not let you grow, heal, change, and develop, will not let you rise to the person you're called to be. If you do not want that in your life, if you don't want to move down that road where you continue to ruminate and think about and struggle with this, I want you to reach out for help. If you don't work with us and you work with someone else, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, I hope you know by the end of this, if nothing changes, nothing changes. You'll be stuck in the same exact spot, believing the narcissist lies over and over, having it rack your body, having it mess up your decision making, having it screw up with your whole aspect of who you are, until we make the choice to start working on getting the clarity that you deserve. If you want to step into one of our challenges, you can go to claritychallenge.net to be able to understand how we actually break the trauma bond, the rumination, and move you forward. If you'd rather have one of our accelerated programs that'll be working with me inside the Thriver community, then please reach out. Go to www.rawmotivations.com, click on the one-on-ones. Would love to be able to help you there. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to be able to hear more content about narcissists, but then more content about healing and growth and helping you move forward to the person you're called to be.